This is a test of the hello welcome door chime. People, how's it going? Blackberry is camera shy today, so rather than sit to my left, she's sitting to my right, just outside of the camera frame. Just outside of the shot. That's what she likes to do, though. So we're going to respect what Blackberry likes to do. So today we are going to do an Ask Me Anything stream, where you can essentially ask me anything. I do my best to answer all things that are interesting. One of the common questions is, why is it you only answer paid questions, you asshole? One of the things that has been common anytime I do an AMA, hopefully it's died down since the algorithm has decided it doesn't like me anymore, is that there would be anywhere between 120 to 180 messages a minute. YouTube actually keeps track of that. You could look at it in your creator dashboard under live stream. So it'll say 180 messages a minute. That would give me 0.3 seconds to answer each question. And while I can speak pretty fast, I can't speak that fast. Although I was watching a video recently of this guy that did Michael Jackson's Bad in something like 15 or 20 seconds. Very cool. But I don't even think that guy can answer questions that quickly. Are you guys hiring anyone from marketing and or social media? I am the marketing and / or social media. So that's one of the things that's interesting, and I'm kind of curious what someone like Michael Gerber would think of this. Eric is getting tired of me saying that name. I remember reading his book in 2011, E-Myth Revisited. I never read the first one, the E-Myth general book. But one of the things I was curious is he talks about how you need to document all the practices of your business and not be the technician. How it should be set up so that if all of your employees get fired and you have to start fresh tomorrow, you should be able to do so with manuals and procedures that you come up with. And one of the things that I'm not sure, I think that's pretty much true for everything in the business besides lab data recovery. For just about everything, we've got a program, except perhaps basic take-apart guides, but that stuff, you handle that with 1 or 3 days. But most of the procedural things we have. How to respond to customer emails. It's there. How to sell difficult customers. It's there.
Hello, welcome.
Check Discord regarding fresh desk stuff. Will do, Copass, speaking of hires. But one of the things that I haven't done with my business, social media. I can't make a guide that says how to do Lewis's YouTube channel because people don't want to see anybody but me on my YouTube channel. I've tried putting Paul on here. I've tried putting Steve on here. Erica's tried putting Oreo on here. Erica gets nothing but downvotes anytime she shows up on the live random channel. We've been working on the downvotes thing. But how am I supposed to do that? And it's quite difficult to separate yourself from a business when your channel becomes intertwined with the business. And people expect to see you on it. 2019 Mac Pro versus 13 versus Mac Air. You know what? The 16-inch may not be a piece of crap. I say that tentatively because it's only been out for a short period of time. But they fixed the keyboard. It's fairly nice. I mean, it's not a ThinkPad keyboard, but by fairly nice, I mean good by Apple standards and not good in general. It's a better keyboard than what it was before. They got rid of the FlexGate issue where if you open the machine past here, you start ripping the cable. They fixed that around 2018. So I think it's safe to say that it's at least worth thinking about. Whereas the 2016 through 2018 MacBooks, those are just piles of shit in my opinion. You can't open and close it. Like, get that out of here. It's ridiculous. Why do you answer any questions? It's an ask me anything, not answer me anything. Excuse me. Allergies. Yeah. Sure. I'll take some modern drugs. Have you ever been to a strip club? Yes, I have. I had to do a repair in a strip club about 10 and a half years ago, back when I advertised house calls. And I remember charging by the hour. And it was so depressing that after about 28 minutes or 32 minutes, I was done with the job. And I said, I'm done. I finished early. You can pay me half. I want to fucking get out of here. It's not even worth it to me to pretend that I'm doing work so that I could get the full hour. And the guy wound up just giving me the hour because I did a good job. But it was so fucking depressing because I'm doing my work and then I'm sitting at the bar and then there are women that just walk up to me like this. objectively speaking, these were women that in my normal day-to-day life would never give me a second look. They were like, the 10 out of 10, the ass, the breasts, the physique, the muscles, everything was beautiful. But are you legally allowed to use your bike anymore? I think technically no. However, since I only pedal and I'm under 750 watts, I should be good. But the thing is, it was just nasty. Like, they clearly didn't want to be there. They were very, they looked miserable. They seemed like you could clearly tell they're just purely in it for the money. There's nothing exciting to them about it. It was just, and it was nothing, and my mind could tell that this is a model class female that in any other circumstance I would never be around. But hello, welcome. What do you get for Christmas that you enjoyed? I got a good dinner with Erica, Paul, and Paul's family, and that was enough for me. That's what I got for Christmas that I really enjoyed. So thank you, Paul. But it was quite depressing. Like, even though this beautiful woman was in front of me, the sexual part of my brain could not activate at all because it didn't seem appropriate. Like, I'm sitting in this area around other dudes. How the hell am I supposed? It doesn't work. None of that stuff worked. It didn't activate the attraction center of my brain. Part of the fun is supposed to be you pursue the person, you're interested in them for some reason, one way or the other. You win them over, you go out, and that's fun. But there's no winning you over because you're only there because somebody else is paying you to be there. So you're forced to be nice to me even if you're not supposed to. It's one of the reasons I never do small talk with waiters or waitresses or butlers or Uber drivers. I never initiate small talk with a cab driver. I never initiate small talk with a bartender. If they want to talk to me, that's fine, but I don't initiate it because I realize that you're in a business where you're required to be nice to me. You have to be nice to me. So I don't want to take advantage of the fact that you're forced to be nice to me and put you in a situation where anywhere else you would not be nice to me. So let's say if you were just sitting next to me on a bus, you'd say, fuck off, I don't want to talk right now. But because you need to get a tip from me in order to survive, you're going to nod your way through and pretend you're interested in what I'm talking about when you're not. I don't like putting people in those situations. I don't like when the customers put me in those situations where I'm done, I fix your stuff, you paid, and now I'd like to move on to doing other work because the other customers are going to call and kill me if I don't get it done in time. But I have to pretend that I give a shit about the conversation you're having with me for like 10 minutes. You're talking about your kids and how they like Max and why they like Max and why they chose to choose Max and how they found this. Like, I'm supposed to nod and be nice to you, but I don't fucking want to be nice to you. And it's not because I hate you. It's because I want to get on to do fucking something else. I just don't feel like pretending to have chit chat right now. Oh yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, I had the same problem. I don't want to pretend. It actually takes effort to do that. And the same part of my brain gets activated when in a strip club. It's like, I know you don't want to be here. If you had another way to make this amount of money, you would not fucking be here around all these dudes. So I did my job, and that was it. I think I was fixing speakers for some club that I got referred to by the studio that I was working at the time. But fuck that, never again. Never again. Just awful. How's it going with the new place? When are you moving out? I am moving out of this place once the new place is ready and done. So once it's done, I'm having a contractor meeting on Monday, and that is going to determine how the way that meeting goes with Steve, Paul, and I is going to determine whether or not I'm happy, mediocre, or filled with aggravating rage. And I really hope it's not the last one. Always assume the best. A while back, you talked about how you dislike PayPal chargebacks. Do you have any alternative payment services? They all kind of suck to extents. They all kind of suck to an extent, but I use Chase Payment Tech solely because they're cheap. I'm not the biggest fan of Chase Bank. There's a lot of things with Chase. I have a laundry list of problems with Chase Bank. Chase Bank are jackasses for a lot of reasons. Welcome. I like turtles too. So does Paul. He has turtles, and I got to meet them on Christmas Eve. He has 3 girls and 1 boy, and he has to quarantine them because the female turtle will bite the male turtle's dick off until it actually starts bleeding if it tries to flirt with her. That's a. But yeah. So when it comes to Chase Payment, sorry, what's up?
Oh, I was gonna say if the male sees the females, then he starts displaying. Remember?
Yeah, he Epsteins them. So, Chase Payment Tech. Yeah, so one of the things that aggravated me about Chase recently was I deposited money in the ATM, And I deposited money into an ATM, and it just sucked up all the money. And this is one of the few times that it wasn't perfectly counted beforehand, because you have to shove the dollars into the machine several times. You can't just put this many bills in. You have to put this many bills in so that it doesn't clog. I put this many bills in and it still clogged, and I was sick that day. I was tired, so I just didn't count it. And I had a call to have a claim put in to where they said, okay, how much do you think was in there? And I told them, and they were clearly agitated at the fact that I had any issue with them. I deposit the money, and they said, okay, well, they audited it because each amount goes into a separate box. And I thought, this is fucking bullshit. You're making this up. There's no way inside of this thing there's a bunch of separate boxes that my money goes into versus somebody else's. I didn't buy it. But they claim that that's the way it worked. And they said that within 1 to 2 weeks when it's audited, my account would be adjusted with the amount. It never was adjusted with the amount. I called. I got transferred to another country. I got hung up on. It's like, it wasn't an amount of money where it was worth it to me to torture myself over with everything else I was dealing with at the time. It's just, I see that your primary business appears to be handling money, and you don't seem to be very good at it. They also nickel and dime you on fees all the time.
Can you turn the volume down for the hello? It's too loud.
Chase also nickel and dimes on fees, but for some reason Chase Payment Tech is very fair. I like Chase Payment Tech. Their fees are dirt cheap. I pay something like 2.09%. That's for a combination of online transactions and in-store. For in-store alone, that's an amazing rate, but when you throw in the fact that that includes the online transactions, that's effing crazy. Can you fix a Deltran battery tender junior? I don't know what that is, so I will assume that the answer is no. Why are so many people sick during the Christmas season? Probably having to visit relatives and family. Everybody gets together, germs, etc. I don't know. Content creators need to start taking multivitamins. I take my multivitamins. Fellow audio engineer here, do you think Apple's wireless future dream will be overimposed to music instruments / MIDI with future technology? I'm honestly surprised that MIDI still exists in the way, shape, and form that it does. Obviously, it doesn't exist in the form of, you using an actual MIDI cable anymore for the most part. It's over USB, but I'm really surprised that that's what I'm looking for. Not the durability. Maybe just the durability of of that interface and platform over time. The bell has been lowered. When are you moving to the new place? When it's ready. Let's see. When is the next store update video? On most likely Monday night. There will either be a happy one, a mediocre one, or something on the evening news. It's going to be one of those three. We'll see. There's one particular issue that I'd like to see addressed, and we're going to see how it is addressed. And I'm going to assume the best, because assuming the best of people often gets you the best of people. And we'll see if assuming the best of people actually means that the best occurs. To everybody in the Twitch chat, I'm fully aware that Twitch doesn't work. It's my understanding that Twitch is owned by Amazon, so rather than tell me it doesn't work, I would suggest that you email jeff@amazon.com. I hear that he replies to his emails very often. No, really, I don't understand how you expect me to fix somebody else's website. That's absurd. I like you, and I'll listen to your chat, but it works on YouTube, it doesn't work on Twitch. It works on Vimeo, it works on YouTube, it doesn't work on Twitch. Something tells me that's Twitch's problem. Why not buy an e-scooter? They're everywhere and they're legal. Because I think that the e-scooter is lame. Further, I do not want to use something that... Why should I have to use an e-scooter rather than an e-bike? Why? Why is one legal and the other not legal? I honestly not even aware as to whether or not the e-scooters are legal in New York, but I don't understand. How do you do it? Full-time business owner, full-time YouTube content, full-time streamer, brother I'm about to unfollow because it's too much content. I'm kidding, I appreciate what you do. One of the only things that I think that I'm really good at is juggling. Scott Adams has this thing. I read a book from him about something called talent slack, where you're not really that great in anything, but you're like kind of good enough in each individual thing that you can slump your way by. A lot of people are really good techs, like 99% tech, 0% people person, 0% multitasker, 5% businessman. You're gonna fail. If I'm 70% tech, 60% business owner, 50% people person, 80% juggler, I can actually succeed, because it's not about being amazing. That's what I love about this business. That's what I love about this business over a lot of others, is if I'm a good juggler, I can honestly get very far in doing this, even with a small amount of money. There's a lot of return on investment to be had in the repair industry if you're a good juggler and you're decent enough at a lot of different things. Paul solders better than me. Steve deals with people better than me. Camille and Chris reverse engineer problems better than me. Orhan and Tagir can replace the screen on a Retina model with less likelihood of getting dust or junk behind it better than I do. Hannah is better at organizing than I am. But why is it that I'm the business owner? Maybe it's just because of luck. Perhaps it's because I think that I'm not as good as any of those people are. But the thing is, I'm good enough at each of them that I can do every single one of those things well enough. I don't think there's anybody here that could do every single one of them except Steve. But why Steve is still here after 6.5 years is anybody's guess, having to deal with a lunatic like me. But I appreciate him. You have a black screen on Twitch. I suggest emailing jeff@amazon.com to tell him to fix his platform. Why does Oreo love Anel so much? He loves everybody, but I think there's a big thing where since Anel was ignoring him, I appreciate your content work and certainly do learn from your videos. Kudos. Thank you, Jason. But yeah, the Scott Adams thing on Talent Slack is pretty interesting. I think it helped me explain why I was. It helped me realize something that it was a positive that I didn't even realize was a positive, so I can focus on it. Lewis, when are you planning to get married? Next question. Would you consider accepting cryptocurrency as payment? Cryptocurrency at the moment appears to be... I had a lot of faith in it, but it appears to be degenerating into a consensual Ponzi scheme. From a pure Ron Paulist and the Fed kind of perspective, I was excited about cryptocurrency, but it really does seem to be turning into a consensual Ponzi scheme. Eli says if you're out of business in 18 months, you owe him dinner at a very expensive restaurant while they serve escargot. Here's the problem with Eli's bets. Eli's bets always include what I would have... I have to get him dinner if I'm out of business in 18 months. But if I'm not out of business in 18 months, what do I get from Eli? I want another mug, Eli. You took those mugs down from your videos, and one of my employees dropped my mug and broke it. I want another mug. How about this? If I'm not out of business in 18 months, let's raise the bar. If I'm not doing better in 18 months than I am right now, if I'm doing better in 18 months than I am right now, I want you to send me a case of your mugs.
He's gonna send you the F. Lewis.
Do you support Erica's decision to try Sir Stroming? Also, would you ever do a company paintball outing? Paintball, sure. I'm not into eating fish, but I'm not getting into that because comments turn into a mess. I've thought about paintball. I think it would be really rewarding to shoot some of my employees with a paintball gun. I think I'd have too much fun. That's one of the reasons I don't think I haven't done it yet. I think Paul and I would have the most fun. Shooting others and then shooting each other. I would pay any amount of money to see Paul Daniels and Louis Rossmann hug on camera. Note to self for future video idea. I'd hug Paul Daniels on camera for charity. Yeah. If people are willing to pay for it, we could have a charity event.
What's a charity event probably going to be called?
Lewis hugs Paul Daniels and people give money to a charity of their choice. I don't know I haven't seen Robot, whatever. 2CE signature versus 3A, what do you prefer? I haven't heard of both. I have the 3A signatures and I had a 2C normal, not 2CE. Would you say it's time to replace the battery on a 2012 MacBook Pro at 671 cycles? I don't know which one you have because there are 4 different MacBook Pros in 2012. A1278, A1398, A1425, or A1286. Which one do you have? Thank you, Justin L. Big Brother says, you haven't seen you in a while, you look great. You may want to adjust the settings on your computer monitor. Is it safe to walk around New York City with a $5,000 camera? That's a really generic question. Like, where are you walking? Are you walking on 59th Street and Broadway? Are you walking on Delancey Street on a Saturday night when everybody's drunk? Are you walking through Brownsville? Are you walking through Canarsie? Are you walking through Riverdale? Are you walking through the Upper West Side? Like, where in New York are you walking through? Shoot dead Macs and iPhones at paintball in slow motion, says Jordan Springer for $2.79. That could be fun. What are you allergic of? I'm allergic to harmful and dangerous kittens. This here is Mr. Clinton, by the way. I told him before the stream that this is Blackberry's seat and only Blackberry's allowed to sit here so that I don't get struck, but we'll see. Someone pointed out, interestingly enough, that I totally forgot about this, but in one of the 8 videos, please tell me about your cool headset mic. It's a DPA 4065. It's used in a lot of Broadway shows. I usually try to find it used. I don't want to pay $700 for a microphone. Same thing with this. I got this thing, like somebody said, oh, look at you with your wannabe studio mic. Bleh. This is an AT4050, which sounds almost identical to an AKG 414, which is not a pretend wannabe studio mic. It's an actual studio mic. So suck it. And B, I got this thing used and dented for about $150 13 years ago. So, political opinion on healthcare. Aloshi from Canada. That I can't do in a question because that's going to take... That's like a 45-minute discussion, and one of these questions pops up about every 10 seconds. I did work in selling healthcare for a long time, so it's difficult for me because I am skeptical of dealing with government for all the time that I've dealt with government for anything. It's been usually they just make life a nightmare, at least in New York City. However, I was actually, most people don't know this, but in 2008, I got my license to sell healthcare, and I worked as a health insurance salesman for Atlantis Healthcare. I remember walking into some place back when I had my Staten Island Guido haircut. When I still living in Staten Island back then, and I still kind of look like a Guido because I hadn't shaken it off. And I was walking into some place and what are you selling? And drugs and protection. I thought I was so funny. I didn't sell any healthcare. I sucked. I'm no fuck. But one of the things that was interesting is when you work at a healthcare company and you realize. There's just so much bureaucratic waste there, and there are so many the first thing they tell you is if somebody you need to save every client in your phone. I'm thinking, oh wow, it's because they care about the customer. This has stuck with me for 12 years. I'm never gonna forget this shit. Not 12, 11 years. Yeah, 11 years has stuck with me. Is they said, no, you need to save every client in your phone because the moment you've sold them, you don't want to pick up anymore. And I go, what? No, once you've got them to sign, they need to call customer service, not you. They need to go through the normal procedures and never deal with you ever again. You did your job, and you're going to put your efforts and energy into finding new customers, which is your job, not answering your existing ones. I'm never going to fucking forget that shit. This was 11 and a half years ago. I remember it like it's yesterday. So, I don't have a solution. I know that from my dealing with New York City local government for anything, whether it's business related, Department of Consumer Affairs related, construction related, just about anything related, that it's a fucking nightmare. And I feel weird about having that as my as the arbiter between me and a doctor. But then I also really don't trust people that are openly willing to tell a new employee, yeah, once you've sold them, fucking put them in your phone so you never pick up their number again. Why don't I just block them? Why don't I just go up to their home and shoot a paintball gun through their window? Fuck you, customer. Never going to forget that shit. That was Atlantis Healthcare. I don't know if they're still around. I'm not even sure if I signed an NDA when I chose to be a healthcare salesman with them. So for all I know, I'm going to get fucked for that. But I don't care. Fuck them. Seriously, that's just a shit-ass way to treat people. What do you think of Sonos recycle mode? I fuck Sonos and fuck those shitty-sounding Bluetooth speakers. You get yourself a set of used Axiom M3 ties. M3T. Like before they had the M3 V2 or V4. You can find these online used for like $150. They sound so amazing. Get yourself some $20 or $40 amp off of eBay. Fuck Bluetooth speakers. They ruin music. You don't have to have Vandersteen 3A signatures like I have in my apartment. Even though I got these used in open box for like, I think, $1,800. You don't. Spend $150. You'll get something nicer. Bluetooth speakers make me sick. They just ruin music. Scott Adams is a whack job that thinks the Orange Man is a genius. You're falling into the fallacy of assuming that because someone has one opinion you disagree with or is out of their mind on one thing, that they're going to be out of their mind on the rest. And that they're all, like, this is one of the problems with black and white thinking. So I can realize that people have issues with the private company. People have issues with the public. There's issues with both. Now, there's clearly somebody is able to give you advice that is useful, even if they have other opinions or other beliefs that they hold that make them useless, or that make them useless in that area. You shouldn't, like, all the troubleshooting that I learned how to do, or the way that I look at a circuit and try to boil it down to a way that's really easy to explain. You know who I learned that from? Ricky Began. You know who Ricky Began was? A tech at Avatar. You know what he used to tell me and everybody there? Surface mount stuff is too small. It's not fixable. Don't bother trying. It's useless to try. That industry is dead. He told me that shit almost every other day. What did I do? Did I listen to him? No. I took the information that was useful to me, that I thought was beneficial, that I thought had a lesson, and then I tossed out the shit that I thought was useless. If you only listen to people when you agree with everything, you are going to screw yourself out of a lot of good information. Not in the near future, Mr. Tech Coach, because I don't have a lot of free time for teaching, unfortunately. And Jess is a better teacher than I am. Jess is a considerably better educator than I am. More experienced and just better at it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still think that I'm way better than the wild PCS jackasses and the people heat gunning phones and shit like that. But kind of look like Joe Gatto from Impractical Jokers. I never saw that, but thank you. Like, there's one company, I'm not going to name them unless they actually decide to do a class. If they do decide to do a class, then we will shit on them. But they have an instructor that's never replaced the TriStar chip. He's never actually soldered a TriStar chip. He's never actually sat and diagnosed a phone. He just has the factual lists of, this is how many milliamps it's taking when it has this problem. This is what a short to ground is. But he's never actually done it. Like, compared to, though, that person, even if that person has a degree in teaching, I'm going to shit on him every day of the week because I have practical experience, and I can tell if somebody is understanding what's going on, but I also can walk someone through a problem. This is what I really enjoy doing. Here's the dead board. Go for it. I give you just enough hints to help fill in the gaps, but I let you solve as much as you can on your own, and I slowly decrease the hints, and I start turning the hints into questions that I keep breaking down the question into a smaller question, so that you are answering it yourself. It seems like you're solving it yourself, but you're actually learning as you do it. And you can't do that if you have somebody who has never actually troubleshooted a board in real time. You can't do that. The reason I can do that, or Jessica can do that, is because we've both done it a million times in real time. But yeah, the Scott Adams thing, I mean, I would not be able to teach the way I do right now. I would not be able to make videos explaining what I do right now if I actually thought like that. And that's a big problem I see in my comment section. There's a lot of people with black and white thinking, and the world is far more complicated. What would you do if I sent Toreba stuff to your new store? If it is interesting, would you stream it? I would either A, light it on fire, or B, sell it in the window. The same as I'm going to start doing with a certain other person's Toreba things that keep winding up in my 130 square foot office. I teach high school math. What math pops up in your business? The only math that pops up is Ohm's law. So I want to see if there's a short circuit in the line, is this something I'm likely to see if I inject voltage into it? So 12 volts, 0 ohms, obviously, that's going to use a lot of power. 1.8 volts, 200 ohms, I'm not going to see that. That's really the only math I do. Oh, I hate allergies. Do you consider yourself lucky? In many ways, I am lucky. I have the world's best woman sitting just 2 meters from me over there. I have Blackberry the cat. My business didn't fail. I have some of the best employees that I could ever find. You know how hard it is to find people like Anel or Camille or Steve or Paul? These people don't grow on trees. What do you think of Michael O'Leary? The name sounds familiar, but it's not ringing a bell right now. Why are you so chatty? Because this is a stream where people ask questions and I provide answers. That is what AMA means. Does Oreo ever interlude when you're trying to do repairs? He usually goes to everybody else before he gets to me. Now he's home. I'm behind by 12 minutes. Shit. Do you like Tesla? I like the idea of Tesla. Be cool if they were more friendly towards mechanics, but I like the... Paul showed me that they're actually getting closer to having parts available. Or for other companies are actually starting to make parts for them. You plan on doing another interview like the Michael Carvin one? I think I could have done the Michael Carvin one a lot better. I don't have any plans. I shared your education around with my kids. Thank you. Thank you, Athenian, for the $4.99. Yeah, I'm like 10 minutes behind in these comments. I gotta go faster. It's no fun to read through the comments like a marathon just to make everyone. But if I don't do that, then people get pissed that I didn't read their thing. But, oh well. How do you keep it together working the hours you do and continuing to persist in this fucked world with these fucked people who want to screw you out of everything you earned yourself? Well, because it's better than the alternative of putting price tags on basketballs at Modell Sporting Goods, Store 62. Never again. The worst points of my life in business, it's way better than putting price tags on basketballs. Screw that. Twitch stream is down. Yes, email Jeff at Amazon.com. Tell him to fix it. Jeff at Amazon has access to the server racks at Twitch. I don't, so I can't troubleshoot that. Kaidi says, Lewis, I love you. Please be my boyfriend. Do you remember me? Erica just walked to the other side of the apartment, so maybe. Do you know about any crashing problems with the mid-2010 MacBook Pro Core Duo A1278 after waking or loading the OS? A, bad MCP. B, your hard drive cables are dying. And please, for F's sake, don't tell me you're using the piece of shit 250 gigabyte spinning 5400 RPM trash that came in that computer in 2010. Please tell me you've replaced that with an SSD. But yeah, your hard drive cable is probably dead. If your MCP may be dead, your hard drive cable by now is definitely dead. Paul is 1 in a million. Indeed he is. I got to meet the people responsible for raising Paul on Christmas Eve. It's quite an honor. Is Windows HD color good? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. High definition color? Huh? Doesn't Windows come in color already? Was Windows ever in black and white? Well, are you a Don Emus fan? You know, the name rings a bell, but I'm not quite sure. Do you only date Asian women? Erica, I believe, is the second Asian woman I've ever dated. Maybe the first, actually, because there was this one woman that thought it was a date, and I didn't think it was a date, but she clearly thought it was a date, so I don't know if I should count that as a date. So I'll call Erica the first Asian woman I've dated. Eat some spicy stuff to clear your sinuses. Not a bad idea. Can you fix an iPad charging port that's been tactically resized to somehow fit micro USB? What? Tactically resized? Who? Oh, man. We're probably not the most competitive price-wise there. The thing is, we factor in the fact that there's a chance of breaking the screen into the iPad repairs. Where's your cat? That's the only reason I'm here, says Ryan. STFU. That's my kitty. What are common problems you see with the Surface Pro? I've never seen a Surface Pro in real life. I'm not sure if they exist. Do people buy those? I've yet to see one. As you get more famous, do you find like you find yourself in an echo chamber or a supportive environment? Well, the thing is, what I find with more and more people knowing who I am, that I have to put less and less weight into comments, and this stuff really sucks. It does, because I did a video in early 2016 where I was talking about how YouTube changed the comment system, and they changed the comment system to where I can't click the bell and see replies to old comments anymore like you used to. You used to be able to click the bell, and if you commented on someone else's comment, I could see that and reply to it instantly. Now you can't do that anymore. But like, what sucks is you have a group of people that praise you all the time, and then you have a group of people that say you're the biggest piece of shit. So do you get happy when you see people praising you and then get sad when people call you a piece of shit? Or do you just say, I'm not going to take any of this seriously at all. I'm going to trust the people that I choose to be in my life and fuck the comments. And I've always been of the latter mind, because if I take the stuff that I read here seriously, I would lose my mind. You just can't. Like, one example of this one person, he was leaving. This is a sad example. I was going to make a video on it, but there's this one person that left a lot of comments on the construction videos, and he made one comment that was just like really had a lot of hatred and vitriol for Paul in it. And I thought, this is a piece of shit comment. I'm gonna hide this user, ban them. My policy is typically, if you speak in the comment section in a manner that you wouldn't speak if you were in front of me at a bar, then you're out. Like, you can disagree fervently, but if you say something that if you were in a bar would get you punched in the face, I hide. And this was bordering on that. And I decided, nah, you know what, fine, keep it up. And he actually sent some, I replied with what I thought, and he sent me some fairly interesting stuff on, how to design the new place, some CAD drawings and stuff. And then he made a comment on a video where I made an AVE reference, and he said, keep your dick in a vice. And YouTube put it in held for review because dick in a vice, apparently to YouTube, is inappropriate. Then he made another comment with a link, and YouTube automatically dumps all link and likely spam. And because I'm a dumbass who released his email address to his audience, I get this email saying, you are a fucking disingenuous cunt. I hope every contractor rips you off as much as possible. And the sad thing is this email, he commented at 3 a.m. He left this at 3 a.m. So it's not even like you waited for me to wake up to take it out of the spam bin, which it shouldn't have been in. That's like, and this is the thing with YouTube. It's one of the reasons why I try to keep a wall between me and people that are on YouTube, because there will be people that are like, wow, your stuff is all the best. Let me help you design you a logo. Let me help you with your website. Let me help you with your store. Let me help you with carrying stuff. Let me help you with your packages. And then the moment they hear something that I say that's like a little bit not what they expect, let's say, they think that I'm Christian because I was humming Christmas music and they find out I'm an atheist. Fuck you, you piece of shit. I would have never fucking helped you. You're such an asshole. It's like, just 2 days ago, you were nice. So what I've learned that I have to do is I had my email address public. Everybody could see it. Everybody could reach out to me. I would talk back and forth with people 45 minutes. I don't know you, but I don't know you from rust on my fire escape. But I can't do that anymore because it's just too draining. The thing is that used to happen once a year. Then it happened once every 3 months. Then it happened once a month. Now that kind of shit happens like once every 3 days. And the reason it happens is because I've gotten to the point with this about 5,000 comments a day. So if you have 5,000 comments a day, if even only 0.1% of those people are pieces of shit, that's 50 people every day that are pieces of shit. That's not sustainable. A person can't deal with that. So I've gotten to the point where I actually was talking with Eric about this the other day, where I'm just not reading most of it anymore. I'm probably going to wind up making a separate email address for myself, and Lewis@rossmangroup.com is going to be delegated to Hannah, and she's going to read through it and pretend to be me as a social media manager. So the same way that when you email Jeff@Amazon.com, you're not actually going to Jeff Bezos. It's not going to him. My email at Lewis@RossmanGroup.com will be going to someone who represents me, who reads through it. But the most important stuff would get forwarded. But I really hate it. It makes me sick because I used to actually enjoy going back and forth and banter and having conversations with people. I like this idea that even at 900,000 subscribers, if there was a Reddit thread regarding right to repair, I literally commented on every single question in the thread. I like being accessible. I like being reachable. I didn't like this idea that I'm this, I'm too important for you because my subscriber number. But it genuinely fucks with your health at some point, or your mental health and well-being, to like have somebody just like go Jekyll and Hyde on you constantly. And it happens all the time. So I try to not take anything I see in my comment section seriously. And one thing that's interesting is that, it goes back to this Dale Doughton book. There was this Dale Doughton book called The Gifted Boss, and he talks about how it sucks to be God. It's the worst job on earth. As a business owner, if you're God, you failed. If everybody in your business is coming to you to have the problem solved, you're not being a good boss and you're not hiring the right people. You're not looking for employees. You're looking for people who can actually fix things. I wish that you could do electric wheelchair repair too. No, you don't. If you saw what I did to my bike, trust me, no. Anel never trusted me to work on his wheelchair, probably because he's seen my electric bike. Maybe someday. I think that would be better for Paul than for me. You're going to wind up with a wheelchair that goes 58 miles an hour and goes on fire. But yeah, in Dale Doughton's book, The Gifted Boss, he talks about how employers can create a God complex because they're constantly solving these problems. And I think it's important to not get yourself in an echo chamber or in a self-hate chamber based on your YouTube comments, but also at a business. It's just really important to not get yourself into this. It's really easy as a business owner to get a God complex because you're constantly solving problems that other people are bringing you. So you feel like you must be smarter than all these people because only you can solve them. And then you wind up dealing with a contractor that doesn't we'll get to that part on Monday. Or you deal with an architect that doesn't. Thank you for answering my question without a donation. Have a great New Year's, and I hope the community matures into a healthy one. Thank you, Miss Palindrome 618. Thank you. You get yourself into a situation where the architect can't even email back or choose a color or can't even build a wall not through an electrical panel. Wow, they suck. The realtor can't even find a place given these specifications. Like when you deal with so many incompetent people and you're managing so many people that make so many mistakes, it's easy to start to think you're a genius. But no, you're not. It's actually very important as a business owner to keep yourself, as a successful business owner, to not buy your own bullshit or buy into a God complex just because you manage other people. My niece has a Hitachi drive that was clicking. My brother opened... We have a 0% success rate with drives that have been opened before. Since I know you, maybe I'll convince Steve to look at it. Maybe. But no promises. But yeah, 0% of the drives that have been opened by users themselves so far I think have been recoverable. Steve doesn't want to admit it, so I usually have to shield him from it because he'll wind up spending fucking 12 hours in a drive that's not fixable. So he tells me, no, Lewis, take them. Sometimes I can fix them. It's like, yeah, when? Show me a ticket where you fixed that. Come on. He doesn't want to say no, but someday. I'm a Swedish model. Whoa. Railway builder. Oh. And what happened to the rest of the comment? It disappeared so quickly. Avoid headache, nausea. Hell, hydrate, drink water. Will do. I have a big water in front of me. Yeah, where was I with the God thing? I think one of the reasons that I've been able to not get stuck in an echo chamber based on YouTube comments, whether it's God, having a God complex and thinking you're so great, or why are you making everybody nauseous, Erica? Oh. Yeah.
They just need hydrate if they're nauseous.
Yeah. So one of the things that I think has helped me from either getting a God complex or feeling terrible when I read that stuff is if you're a successful business owner, you need to not buy your own bullshit. You need to not think that you and Linus are probably the only two content creators that voices change when they say they are sick. Well, what a lot of people will do is they just won't record when they're sick, or they'll spend like 40 minutes fucking with camera settings. It's really funny because sometimes I'm not sick at all, but somebody will say, oh my God, Lewis, you need to go to a doctor. You need to go to a doctor. Oh my God, you look terrible. It's like, dude, I just had auto setting on my camera. My camera, I got the thing for $220 used on eBay with a broken flash, so I can't expect it to be great. But the white balance, the auto ISO, the auto white balance, it's all shit because it was $220. So if I don't spend 2 minutes setting it before every video, I look like a zombie. And sometimes when I just don't feel like doing it because I'm lazy. But a lot of people, they color grade their videos and they spend an hour on their settings before recording. I don't give a shit. I know I'm ugly. I don't put the effort in. Is it dangerous to change my 2015 MacBook Pro A1502 with 1415 volts max 4 amps instead of the native 16.5 volts? What about 20 volts? Okay, 1415 volts, that's dangerous. 20 volts max 3 amps, don't do that. Like, I've seen MacBooks take 3.5 to 4 amps before, so set it to 4 amps, 4 amps to 5 amps. You can charge with 16, 18, or 20 volts. The ISL 6, why do you want to change the voltage you charge your MacBook with? Yeah, what was I saying before that? The God complex thing. You can't believe just because you deal with lots of people who have basic questions for you and that you are forced to answer, that you are somehow better than everybody else. Because if you start to buy your own bullshit, your business will fail, because then you'll start to have ridiculous ideas and grandiose thoughts, and unless you're Adam Newman and are able to rip people off for billions and billions of dollars, then you're going to have these thoughts as to what it is you can do that you can't actually do, and you fail. So I was kind of forced to have the whole God complex thing beat out of me in 2011 when I started, really getting closer towards having employees and business started growing. So I think I'm fairly secure against having an echo chamber in the comments section. Like when I see a really kind, positive comment that says, oh, I agree with you and everything, you're so smart, you're a genius. Like, no, I'm not a genius. I'm just know how to do something you don't. Like, oh my God, you're a fucking fool, you're an idiot, I can't believe you used a Z-type switch instead of an X-type switch for the lights on your bike, you fucking moron. Like, no, you grew up without any love, and now the way that you get your rocks off is by pretending that this one little piece of knowledge you have over other people makes you special. I don't internalize it. There's this one video I did a long time ago called Humanize Your Mentors. And the thing there is, don't assume that people are geniuses because they know stuff you don't, and don't call everybody a total fucking idiot because for no reason. And yeah, somebody may be a jackass if they don't know what they're doing and they fuck up other people's stuff. That's different. But don't assume that other people are smarter than you just because they know how to do something you don't. Because what it does is it sets you up in a mindset where you can't do it. That person's a genius. I'm just normal. That's why I can't do it. No, they're normal. You're normal. They put work in or deal with it. Or maybe they're normal and you're below average. I don't know. But off that point and on to something else. How far behind am I in this chat? What chat is it Lewis reads from? I read from all of them, but I don't. But YouTube's chat doesn't. If I get too far behind, it just fast forwards me and deletes all the comments because Susan Wojcicki. So I can't do much about that. Easiest motherboard. 820-3437 with JTAG corrosion. Would you go on Joe Rogan podcast and do DMT? I would go on his podcast. I don't think I would do DMT. I like Joe Rogan's show. You don't always have to agree with someone to respect what they do. I like his ability to flesh out what people find important from conversations. He asks questions that it's just what average people are wondering when they see someone on the show. And others seem to, it sounds so easy, but it's not. It's clearly not because so many other people aren't able to do it. Self-leveling concrete, indeed. Eli went crazy from comments. Mr. Mac 5150? Do I recognize that avatar? Anyway, yeah, that's one of the other the lessons I got from Eli. I like his channel. He's given me lots of things to think about that have helped me, that are interesting, and he gave me great advice in 2014. But I watched as his channel started to turn into, from him talking about technology news to him answering stupid questions, and then him responding to people's aggravation at his correct answer to stupid questions. And then the channel started to become this feedback loop where he would answer the stupidest questions from the audience, and then when the audience would fight back, he would answer their fighting, and then that just became its own thing in and of itself. And I want to make sure that this channel never turns into that. And it's hard. It really is. That's why I don't do YouTube as a living. That's why I have a business, and then this is like a side thing. I would never want to make this my living because I don't think I would be able to do that. I don't think I would be able to not respond the way that he did if I were doing YouTube as a living. Can you scold me or talk me out of energy drinks? Can you scold me or... You can't spell. That's probably because you drink energy drinks, and they're probably because they've given you cancer of the grammar. Don't drink energy drinks. They give you cancer of the grammar. What is this lazy bum?
He's hard at work.
Why don't you do anything?
He's emotional support.
Why the eye bags? You need more sleep. No, I've had that for years. Samsung Care costs $240 for the Note 10, but they will charge $147 service fee if you need a new screen. Justified, I feel scammed. I'm done with Samsung phones. Samsung phones have always gotten slower over time for me at a rate much quicker than every other Android phone, and I'm just done with it. It's to a point where even after I do factory resets, try a new ROM, all that shit, it's slow. I don't know if the NAND degrades faster than other phones. I don't know what it is, and I don't care to find out because I'm not ideologically possessed a fanboy of Samsung. Pro 16-inch versus 2019, did they fix the power? I don't know what you mean when you say did they fix the power. The power is unfortunately a little too vague, and maybe it's the allergies getting to my head, but I really don't know what that means. Pro 16-inch versus 2019. The 16-inch 2019 seems to have a nicer keyboard. I'll give it that. And the FlexGate thing, obviously, they've addressed. Why eye bags? Even when I went on vacation and I slept about 12 to 14 hours a day every day for 3 weeks, I still had them. I had these when I was a kid. It's just always there. Did Anel ever post his x-rays? Yes, he posted them in Discord at some point, and he wrote pee-pee bus on them with a little arrow to the long screw. Anel actually has long screw damage. Who's harmful and dangerous? Where's my harmful and dangerous kitty? You're not harmful and dangerous. You're a bum. Where's my harmful and dangerous kitty? You plan to fix the new Mac Pro desktops. Thoughts about the SSD not being replaceable. The SSD not being replaceable, you bought a Mac. You just got to accept it at that point. It's not like this hasn't been a thing for a while. If you're buying a Mac in 2020 and you're pissed that the SSD is not replaceable, I don't know what to say. People have been saying this for what, 3 or 4 years now? You know, you should know what you're getting at this point. It's not like repairability, because with repairability, a consumer can't be expected to figure out that they made the ribbon cable too short in 2016, and that in late 2017 that would cause their monitor to fail in this $3,000 computer. But you can expect a consumer, if they do some basic research, to realize that they bought a device with a soldered-in SSD. The thing is that Apple markets their products to people that want stuff that just works without having to do much of their own, due diligence and how to use a computer. So that demographic on average is not going to be the demographic that knows what a soldered-in SSD means. Tinkering to charge all of my devices with USB-C. It's been charging well at 14 volts to 15 volts and 3.7 amps or less. Just worried about longevity of ISL controller. Oh, it's a Mac. Don't you worry. That ISL chip will die in its own due time. I'm not sure. Can you run a buck converter that's making 12.6 volts at 14 though? That's more in LDO territory than buck converter territory. I don't think that's a good idea. 15, 16, maybe 14. Don't do that. What happened to Anel and what did I miss? He was hit by a truck. And then it broke his pelvis and his tailbone. And then the doctor gave him long screw damage to put it back together. Rossmann, love you, Brazil. We love you, Brazil, too. Why not? In terms of the new Mac Pro desktops, nobody brings them to me anyway. One person will ask me to fix a desktop every year. And it's not worth it because I don't have schematics, I don't have board views, I don't have spare parts, and if I'm only getting one of them a year, it's just not worth it to me to find it. Now, this would be different if it was easy for me to get spare parts, but I can't get spare parts or board views easily. And nobody's going to release this stuff or find it or get it released if there's no demand, and there's no demand when nobody brings them in, so it's kind of a circular problem. Do you ever see yourself strictly just managing versus working on parts? Yes and no. The thing is, as I said in the beginning, and this is one of those things I'd kind of wonder what Mr. Michael Gerber would have to say, is you should be able to... Damn it. MacBook Pro 16 has the with high voltage next to low. I have no idea because there's no schematic release for it. I won't know for another 2 years either. That's the great part. No, seriously. I don't expect to get a schematic for the 16-inch until at least 2022. That's the way this industry works, didn't you know? People are usually so surprised by this when they first bring me a new product, and they go, I thought you knew how to fix Macs. It's no, you bought a product from a cunt company, and that cunt company doesn't release schematics or board views for their cunt devices. Can you just, Diagnose and fix a vehicle's ECU. I don't know. I've never worked on them before. Anytime somebody's messaged me asking if I can do that, I look it up and the ECU is $200 online. And it just doesn't make sense. It's like, you're going to fix a $200 thing, you're going to want to pay me $40. And if it's just random rebooting and not working, I can't fix that for $40. I mean, if it's a straightforward replace this connector, yeah. If it's a straightforward replace this one burn chip, yeah. If it's everything looks perfect inside of it, I want you to reverse engineer how this works because there's no schematics, no diagrams, no board views, and I want you to find out where to get donor parts for this so that you could fix my one thing for $40. It just doesn't make sense. I'm going to spend a few $100s tooling up to do it, and I'm going to spend probably 18 hours trying to hunt down schematics, donors, or reverse engineer a way to figure out how it works. It doesn't make sense, unfortunately. Now, they would be different if there were schematics and board views released and I could get spare parts for stuff. Then doing stuff that has lower profit margins would make sense because it would be easier. But if it's more difficult, then I can't. But that goes back to the 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro question. Consumers are surprised when I say this, but the MacBook Air 13-inch, the new one that has the power button built into the keyboard, the A1369, came out in 2010. You know when I got screens for it? Late 2013. September 2013, I got screens for a computer released in 2010. It's sad, but it's the way that Apple products work. I won't have schematics to that to be able to confirm or deny that until 2022. Of course, I didn't use that shitty HDD. I put an SSD and watch. Thing is, the OS loads mostly and then runs fine. Must be the MCP. Okay, not necessarily the MCP. It could be a bad hard drive cable. It could be a bad hard drive cable. Now, are you putting it to sleep or hibernate? Because hibernate is an S4 state, which means it's suspending to the drive, which means if it's crashing while opening, it could be a hard drive cable issue. Whereas if you're putting it to sleep, that's an S3 state, which means it's getting its stuff back from the RAM, which means it has nothing to do with the hard drive, therefore nothing to do with the hard drive cable, therefore most likely either bad RAM or bad MCP. I'm starting to talk too fast. The mic to the Michael Gerber thing. So I don't know what I have systems put in place so that for most jobs here, if not all, they can be done without me being there. But the one thing that can't be done without me there is this live stream. No. I don't keep up with it, honestly. There's no innovation, so there's no point in me caring. Nobody's really, in the last 3 years, nothing's happened that's blown my mind. I use an LG G8 because it was $300 on eBay because it had one scratch on it. So I'm cool with that. It has the same stabilization as a GoPro. So when I have the GoPro on my bike and I go over all these bumps and potholes at 19.9 miles per hour, Mr. Governor Cuomo, it looks the same on both, which is actually really cool. But again, I don't know what the best phone is because I don't keep up with it or care. I find it way too boring. Yeah, what I would be curious in asking is, Michael Gerber's concept is create systems so that somebody could buy your company, replace the employees, and be able to do everything. But a big problem with that idea is people come here to watch me on YouTube. They expect to see me. What do? I fix boards. So what is my business's job? One of the jobs, fixing boards. So how would I teach somebody else how to be an imposter, how to look like me, talk like me, fix stuff like me, and stream like me so that I don't have to do it? I don't really know. I'm curious what he would say if an integral part of your business is acting the character of yourself. Where do you hide Clinton? Susan Wojcicki must have taken Mr. Clinton off of here because he's harmful and dangerous. How much do you make off of YouTube monthly? Millions. That's why I can't even get an architect to respond to my email in less than 2 days. Nope, never been to Seattle, so I have no idea. I'm sorry, C-Mutt. You know what you could do, though? You can mail it to TCRS Circuit. He's in California, which is under Seattle. Samsung Care Plus costs $240 for a Note 10. Thank you, Challenge Advertising. But they will charge $147 service fee for you need a screen. Yeah, that's why I usually don't go for service plans, because you kind of get fucked. But you bought the Note 10. Why would you buy a phone from a company that shit on other companies for removing the headphone jack and then remove the headphone jack? I don't get it. The Note 10 is so effing expensive, too. Why do people spend that much money on a phone? I will never get it. If it did something that other phones couldn't do, I would get it. But I'm really struggling to understand what it is that $1,200 phone or the $1,000 phone does that the $400 phone doesn't do. That's worth it. What do you think of Hand ID and Air Motion on the G8? I've never used them. I've never tried them. Do you want to show your monitor setup behind the camera? It's an LG. It's a monitor. Nothing crazy, with one of those Vivo technology stands. Why no updates on real estate? Because I don't want to make public what it is we have to talk about on Monday until I know what their response is. You don't want to burn bridges, and you don't. Wait. Let me digress, because that's not true. I love burning bridges.
You want to choose your words carefully.
I love burning bridges while I'm not on the fucking bridge. I'll say that. Yeah. That's my Clinton cat. Look at this harmful and dangerous kitty. Yeah, I was looking at the video. So a bunch of my videos got struck. I think it was like 6 or 8 of them. And one of them had Clinton in it. And that video, apparently I had pinned a comment in that video that said, somebody said Bill Clinton is a rapist. And what are you doing? Stop that. So somebody had pinned a comment. I'm reporting this for explicit cat content, indeed. So somebody pinned a comment that said, Mr. Bill Clinton is a rapist in my video of Clinton the cat. And I pinned the comment because, I don't know, I was feeling like a meme lord that day or something. This is before the Epstein thing, by the way. I'm just saying, we have more evidence of it being true now than before. But somebody pointed out, that's why all your stuff got struck. It's like, okay, so what about that video I did on how you should treat the receptionist nice if you expect to speak to the owner of a business? What about that video I did walking around? Stop distracting me. What about that video I did where I was walking around and I was talking about Florida banning homework? What about the video where Jessa and I were walking around the legislature and there was someone who wanted to see the inside of an iPhone? Like, why did you strike all of that? If you did strike all of that because of one pinned comment in one video, how dumb is that? Why not delete the comment? But I don't even think that's the reason it got struck. And here's the best part. I'll never know, because there's nobody that you can contact on that goddamn website. Yeah. Do you plan to fix the new Mac Pro desktops? Oh, this is very old. Strong advice, don't burn bridges that you are standing on. Yes, I've burned many bridges because what a lot of people do is they rely on the fact that people don't want to burn bridges as an excuse to get away with bullshit behavior. And I hate that. So I'll burn it, but I try to not burn it while I'm on it. Or at least if I'm going to burn it while I'm on it, I try to make sure that I'm within jumping distance to the cliff. My land is bare of chattering folk. The clouds are low along the ridges. Sweets the air with curly smoke from all my burning bridges. Dorothy Parker. I'm going to Google that later. $1 million, James saying. $1 million. It's for vitamin C, Mr. Rossmann. Thank you. I have a giant thing of vitamin C already. Erica was distracting me by putting it on live stream. Every time you do that, I forget what I'm talking about. No, stop distracting me. Stop that. Just boop. You keep waving in the background, and I don't know what. Stop. You're trying to confuse me while I'm trying to remember what I'm talking about. I'm getting a kitten and naming him Lewis. Oh, hear that, Mr. Clinton? Meow, boy, meow. Your dream store location. Right across the street from the 9th Avenue Apple Store. I did a video of it 18 months ago. The problem is that they want $48,000 for it. There's another one right across the street from the 9th Avenue 14th Street Apple Store, but that one was about $65,000. That's slightly out of budget. I'm already finding $12,500 a month for a store causing stress. I don't need expenses of that nature. Why can't I view the stream? Because you need to email jeff@amazon.com. Ask him why Twitch is broken. Can you explain what the whole soldering process is? The liquid is flux. It helps the solder flow. Are you aware that someone is jacking all of your videos and posting them as their own content with alternate titles? No. Email me at lewis@rossmanngroup.com if you can, because YouTube removed the messaging feature so that I can take a look at that. And please don't be offended if I don't immediately reply. The result of making my email address public is hundreds, close to 1,000 unread emails. But I will get to it at some point. If somebody just re-uploaded a video I did, like I don't really care that much. But if somebody re-uploaded and edited it out and made it look like it's their board repair, like, fuck off. You know.
Hello, welcome.
It's far more economical to buy powdered absorbic acid in a big old bag. Huh? Why are we talking about acid? DMT? What are your plans for the next 3 years? Plan number 1, make sure people know the truth about the data recovery industry. Plan number 2, show up at every right to repair hearing. Plan number 3, stop living by the excuse of you started with no money, you started behind the curve, so whatever you're doing right now is good considering where you started, and start living from I'm going to be the best at what I do. And number 4, run a bit. How do I put this? Don't use the amount of space you have. Don't use where you started as a reason or excuse to tell yourself that where you are versus where someone else is acceptable. Like, we're just burning through the excuses here, one after the other. Like, bam, bam, bam. We install a window on your office's wall. Probably no, because I want people... Like, you remember that guy that showed up at the ISL 9240 that wanted to trade it for a free repair? And, like, I like the fact that you can't see my office from the front of the store. I kind of like that. Why is New York so freaking expensive? Because too many people live here. Did you just say... What? You want to sit next to Oreo, Eric? Come sit next to Oreo.
Oh, but I'm doing camera work on Oreo. He just meowed. I pet him. Pet the cat.
MacBook Pro 16-inch, your thoughts. I did a video where I gave my thoughts on it. How do you think Cuomo got elected since he's so awful? Also, where'd you get your cats? Craigslist? This one just found me. And thank you for the work you've done for your customers. I think Cuomo got elected out of apathy. It's the same with most politicians. Look at how many people voted for Cuomo. Look at how many people voted for de Blasio. Look at how many people voted for AOC. Even Trump, like any of these politicians. Trump did not win this crazy landslide victory. Hillary lost because of the people that did not show up to vote, that showed up to vote in the past 2 elections because they didn't like her. De Blasio didn't win because he's amazing. He won because something like 8 to 12%, somewhere between 8 and 15% of the people who were allowed to vote in that election showed up to vote. I think somewhere between 3 and 8% voted for him. I'd have to look it up, and by the time I do that, there'll be another question, which I'll miss, like the one that just showed up on the screen that I missed because I'm answering this one. But no, the new landlord is fine. It's not the new landlord that's at fault here. I like my new landlord. But what was I talking about? It's very easy to get distracted doing this. I forget. What was I just talking about 8 seconds ago?
Oh, I don't know.
10 seconds ago? 15 seconds ago?
I got distracted by the where is Mr. Clinton?
It's too easy to lose your train of thought when you're trying to read all this stuff at once. Yeah, I legit. Oh, yeah, Cuomo. Yeah, he won because of apathy. Look at how many people were eligible to vote in any of these elections. I don't know what the second thing means. I'm sorry. I know the first one is something that Joe Rogan brings up 5 times a show, and the second one is probably something that I would know if I didn't flunk out of college. But thank you. It's apathy. AOC won. How many people were eligible to vote in her district? How many voted? Apathy. Trump won. How many people were eligible to vote in that election? How many actually voted? Apathy. Cuomo and de Blasio won. How many people were eligible to vote in that election, and how many voted for those individuals? Apathy. They're winning because people just believe that it's useless to even try. Whether it's a politician you like or a politician you hate, or a politician I like or a politician I hate, one thing I notice is that very few are winning in these massive, amazing landslides because of all the people that came out to vote for them. It's more like just nobody showed up. Cuomo was a dipshit. I had to close my store because of him. I'd be interested in hearing your story, Rochester NY87. Feel free to email lewis@rossmangroup.com so long as you don't become salty if I don't instantly reply. Because I would like to read your story, but I have to preface every time I give my email out with that because people get angry if I don't reply within a day or two. Sounds like you need to check out the unauthorized TV platform for your videos and you have similar feelings and responses to getting fucked over. I think everybody feels the same when they get fucked over. It's a grieving process. It's just like grieving. No, that couldn't have actually happened. Oh my God, it actually happened. The fucking rock! Oh, I'm just gonna live. It's the same. I think it's very similar, if not the same, for everybody. Politics is now low IQ cable TV. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's kind of become it's like the days of our lives of the modern people. If I don't stay tuned into it and I don't really understand what's going on, I almost feel like there's a small element of my life that's missing. Should I get a kitten or a big boy cat? Whatever you want to do. I've always liked getting a kitten because I can make sure they get proper nutrition and proper treatment from a young age and they weren't abused by anybody else. But I just got a computer full of cockroaches diagnosed. Did you encounter the situation? Try to explain to the customer why you don't want to work on it. Absolutely. It's just simple. It's not about me. I just don't want to treat my employees like crap. I've done it before. I've worked on piston machines, cockroach machines. And when you're an employee and your boss walks up to you and says, I want you to work on something infested with cockroaches, that just fucks with the morale of the entire staff. And it's just not something I want to do. I'm sorry. DMT that Rogan speaks about is the same as holy shit's glad you know about it. Yeah, I'm not going to try to read that. I can't. I meant de Blasio, but I'm an idiot. Same difference. Yeah, you're not an idiot for thinking they're the same difference. Do you supply the Nerf guns and darts in your store, or do your employees bring their own? YouTube people send them to the store, and then when they arrive, we get no work done for the day. That's usually how that works. I don't supply them, and they don't supply them. The more people sending crap like that, the less I get done. The cockroach thing, yeah, I think I just answered that one. I want nothing to do with cockroach machines. Just fuck that. No. Nope. I worked on piston machines in the past and stuff like that when I was dead broke, and I'm not that broke anymore. I don't want to do it. The same reason that you would want to do it. If I gave you something filled with dead fucking cockroaches, would you want to touch it? Exactly! So why are you asking me to? How can we change the way YouTube is headed? Use something else? What is the truth about the data recovery industry? We'll know in 2020. 2018 was the year of the truth about the Genius Bar. 2020 is going to be the year of the truth about the data recovery business. Cuomo will make you sleep with the fishes for calling him a dictator. That's what he is. He thinks he's a king. Larry Sharpe is not sleeping with the fishes. Thank you to John. Have you considered spelling your name without the O? I like my vowels. They're the most expensive part of my name. My iPhone 8 home button has been broken for a long time. How much would it cost to get it fixed? It's tied. Well, the Touch ID is tied to that home button, so I can't fix it. But the Apple Store can fix it. If I fix it, your home button is not going to work properly anymore. That's lame. Fuck off. What is this stupid shit making its way through my... Get the fuck out of my channel. Let's see. Banned. Any side hustles that you have? Most of them I have going through my business, really. I mean, like the forum could be considered a side hustle. Selling cleaners and stuff could be considered a side hustle. Your thoughts on Kappa? Best way to sniff out fuckface contractors. I don't know. I'm really bad at that. I'm really, really bad at that. I get referrals from people that I know and that I trust and that I know care about me. I will look at the work that they did, and then I hire them and I give them money. And then my blood pressure goes up for a month at a time. Unfortunately, I don't know. I'd like to answer that question at the end of the series. What I'd like to do once the new place is fully set up, 100% functional and running, is do a... Remember where I left off, Erica. Floatplane is now in beta, given your history with Linus. I don't know if we would see you on there anytime soon, but it's certainly interesting to hear. I'm not interested, honestly. I don't want to have... 99% of what I do is not exclusive content. I don't want there to be a barrier to entry of even $1 or $2. I don't know much about Kappa, but I don't make content that targets kids, so I don't care. Yeah, I can't say I care. It hasn't affected me in any serious way. Do you remember what I asked you to leave me off at?
Yeah.
Okay, so hold that thought, because I actually forgot what I was just talking about there. Shit.
broke.
Wait. No. Shit. I forgot. Oh, yeah, the contractor thing. What I'd like to do is a video series that says, here's what I did over the past 5 months to try to find a new store and build it. Here's what I did I think was hit the ball out of the park. Here's where I think I did average, and here's where I fucked up. I'd like to really revisit it so that anybody else going through the same experience I was may learn from it. There are things I did that were correct. There are things I did that were wrong, but I don't really know how I could have done better. There are things I did that were wrong that maybe I definitely know how to do better. But yeah, we'll see. I used to work for those commercial loan shark companies. You didn't end up taking a loan for the build out, right? Some stuff I'd rather just keep private because it's depressing. But anyway, what was I saying? The float plane thing. So all the stuff that I have, I don't want there to be a barrier to entry, even if it's a $2 barrier to entry. The only stuff that I wind up making private or putting on a Patreon or anything like that is stuff where it's not educational really, and it's just stuff where it's not even like I want to make it exclusive. It's just stuff where I think, is it smart to upload that? Where I'm kind of like on the edge as to whether or not it's even smart that I'm sharing this shit. But fine, I'll put it there. But I don't put stuff there that's, here's the secret to what an active short is, or here's what it means when your machine's taking 105 milliamps at 20 volts with this board. Like, no, I don't. It just no. I don't want there to be a barrier between myself and the stuff I create. I like this model. I really do. If here's what how to put this. We spent the last 90 years in this system, at least 90 years minimum, where you pay, and then after you pay, you figure out if what you got was worth the money. I like this system where you don't pay a thing and you can consume all of it. And then once you're done consuming all of it and you've maybe learned something and maybe you use that to add some money to your business, then at that point, if you choose and you volunteer, you can give $2 or $5. But I feel better with that type of system. I don't like the system where you need to pay in order before you actually see if you liked it or not. I like this system because I grew up at this thing where, downloading music is wrong and then you get an album and 14 out of the 15 songs suck. I like this model where you get to watch, you get to view, and only if you find that it was valuable to you would you choose to give something. But I like there being no barrier to the entry. Hi, Lewis. Hi, Erica. Hi, Cats. Sorry, I can only remember Mr. Clinton and Oreo. Thanks for getting me through a week of illness. Thank you. Snayes.
I hope you're better.
Snayes weird. I hope you're better as well.
You know what? If you want to get better, you should take some vitamin C.
Yeah, but then I'm going to forget what I'm doing because you're going to wait.
Oh, no.
You're going to throw it at me or something.
No.
Erica throws things at me while I'm streaming and I have to swat them away.
You're supposed to catch it.
I don't want to catch it because I'm going to forget the question.
Well,
Speaking of questions, remember when I said, what did I remember where I left off at? Well, what did I leave off at?
You said at the end of after the video, after the store is constructed,
you're
thinking about making a video about what you did right, what you did wrong, what you did
Oh,
right.
yeah. I think I answered that one. Thank you for remembering, Erica. I love that system business model. I agree. Yeah, I like it too. And there are a lot of people that go like, one of the things that I find the most interesting is when people say you're a greedy piece of shit. If you are not a greedy piece of shit, what you would do is you would charge $20 or $50 or $100 to the videos. Really. So charging up front is not greedy. Releasing shit for free for 6 years and saying, here's a link if you learn something, which is voluntary, that's greedy. That one. But one of the areas where I think I could have done better is if I had contractors actually give bids and had YouTube sort through them. Because that's the thing. With the spaces, here's what I feel I fucked up with. With the spaces, what I did was I had... Let me just readjust. Ugh. Oh, shit. I killed it. Static. Finally, ESD has gotten me down. I fixed an ECU on my field crop sprayer thanks to your videos. You saved me $4,000 and turned me into a right to repair advocate. Awesome. Keep fighting the good fight and inspiring others. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Uh-oh. Well then, so much for video.
What happened?
Static.
What's that mean?
It means no video.
Oh, you can't just like replug it in?
I can't because I have to get up and then I miss the questions. And I I could ask you to do it, but you'd have to find the cable.
Oh,
And now which one is it? The video cable from the camera to the machine.
Oh, you want me to unplug it?
The video one. Do you know which one's the video? Okay. Yes.
HDMI one, right?
Yes.
Unplug it and replug it?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you have to replug it on the other end too. Anyway, so yeah, what I could have done is I included everybody in the process of picking a space. I obviously had the final say in it. I wasn't just going to grab a place because YouTube liked it, but I included everybody. Whereas with the contractor and building stuff, now the other end, Erica. With the contractor and building things, what I did is I chose someone. I didn't really include anybody in the process, and it was only after the fact that I told you what went on. So I didn't really include people in the process, and I kind of wonder if that's part of what got me screwed.
Over here?
The blue one.
Oh, what?
The blue one.
This one?
The one that is coming out of the Magewell HDMI dongle.
This one.
The one coming out of the Magewell dongle. Man in black. Indeed.
Okay, so unplug it. Okay. Is it up?
Now I may have to restart OBS. Aha! We're back!
I fixed
Yes!
it.
Everybody, a round of applause for stream assistant Erica.
Yay!
But on the other hand, I don't know how I could have done that better. Even without me telling people, you know, oh yeah, just by the way, when you give your bid, you're going to be giving it to YouTube on video as well. Even without that, most of the contractors just didn't show up and didn't bid. Like, I forget if it was 5 or 6 of them, but I got 2 people to show up and 1 person to bid. Nobody wanted to bother. Even places that were recommended to me didn't want to bother. So it was fairly difficult to find anybody who wanted to do the job. How many states has rights repair law passed? I'm not sure. Not sure if it's passed anywhere yet, honestly. Excuse me. You save $4,000 on a field crop sprayer. Are you a farmer, Joe Widdop? I'm curious to hear your story. Give me an email at lewis@rossmangroup.com so long as you won't become salty if I don't answer immediately. It's so fucking sad that I have to add that to the ends of all these, but if I don't add it, people start calling and showing up. That guy actually who showed up asking for a free repair in exchange for the ISL 9240, he was saying, I emailed you, you didn't reply. Oh, so you thought you could show up and, like, stay in my lobby and not leave even after we closed and people ask you nicely. Aren't you not creepy? How much thought do you put into video thumbnails? Virtually none. I have no artistic prowess. But anyway, yeah, do email me. And again, I'm sorry I have to use that disclaimer on everything. It's unfortunate, but it comes with the territory of having 1 million subscribers. I would love to hear your story, even if I don't have time to reply. To Joe Widdop.
Hey, guess what? Cleo's keyboard doesn't really work. I think she's kicking the bucket.
Your Mac is dead?
Her numbers don't work. I can't press any of the numbers.
No worries.
I can't tag anybody.
That's fine. I'm going to get you a new ThinkPad tomorrow.
No.
I'm going to buy you a computer.
I can't believe Cleo died. How could she die on stream?
I'm going to get you a ThinkPad tomorrow.
But I like my MacBook.
Yeah, but it's fucking dead.
She's not.
Do you see
dead.
how happy it makes me
I
that
just
that
can't
MacBook is
tag
dead?
Anybody.
Yep.
Ah.
Yep, your keyboard died on your computer because it's a Mac. That's what the Mac does. I don't know if YouTube would give high quality advice. Yeah, they probably wouldn't, but you can get you can get a general vote idea. Like the thing is, YouTube, they're obviously. I would never want to actually take. Oh yeah, you need to use this screw in that area. Like I'm not going to take YouTube comments for that. But what's good about YouTube is it's going to point out things that I may have missed that are really important, and the collective is always going to point out shit that the individual misses. But then again, I couldn't get contractors to give me bids. Will we win the fight against our rights repair in the coming months/years? Legally, no. Culturally, yes. So culturally speaking, the next generation, when they become executives, when they become advertisers, marketers, engineers, and board members, they're not going to accept Apple-like practices at their companies. Culturally, we will win. That's where I plan to win. Legally is a complete waste of time. The senators fall asleep listening to us. Like I don't show up at those hearings expecting that I'm actually going to get change done. I show up at those hearings to record them because I want you to hear what the other side says. I want you to see who the turncoats are. I want you to see the people who say, oh, please pay us to come to our event this year. Please pay to come to CTIA. Please pay to be a sponsor as I sell you out. Like, I do that as a service. I don't do that because I expect that things are going to change. I do it as an informative service. I want you to hear what they say. I want you to see which senators are active and listening and which senators are falling asleep and fucking with their phone. I do it as an informative service, but I don't go there with the idea that that's going to actually change anything. What I do to change things is I try to make engaging repair content that makes people think, oh, wow, this may be cool. Rather than playing Dota for the 3,000th time this year, let me try fixing one of those things. Oh, wow, this is really cool. This is awesome. Maybe I should go to school for this. Oh, wow, now I got a job at a company. Oh, wow, now people are asking me to make decisions on things. Wait a second. Are you saying that this charge chip is not going to be available to anybody but us? How are people going to fix it? No, we're not doing things that way. No! And then the whole team walks out the door when they decide to do shit like that. That's what I'm looking for. Cultural change. Because that, I have a chance at. I can win that. I can't win the legal battle. Senators fall asleep. They don't give a fuck what I have to say. And people don't vote. Even if they do vote, all their options are just going to do the same thing anyway, so it's pointless. What I want to do is create a law. You miss self-leveling concrete. Yeah, that's the downside of YouTube, is you have a lot of people who just... It's the Dunning-Kruger thing. Like, the smartest... The people who are the loudest are the people who don't realize that that's a 103-year-old, or so, how about like 90 to 110-year-old building that is limited in its support, that has a basement right under it, and you want me to just pour a bunch of fucking concrete into it. I can't tell if they're trolling or they actually think that that works. I enjoy your content. Can't wait to see the new place finished. Thank you, Never King. Maybe Mr. T Recycling had a hand in that. Perhaps. Give Erica a pay raise. I will buy Erica a top-spec ThinkPad right after the stream is over.
What?
The best ThinkPad.
Hey,
PCI Express SSD.
you know what's interesting? Okay, so not only does my keyboard not work in terms of the numbers, I can't even restart this computer. I got the pinwheel. The forever pinwheel right now.
That's because it has a Toshiba SSD instead of Samsung, and that year they were all buggy. Either way, kiss that shit goodbye. It's fucking dead.
Cleo, restart.
It's a Mac. It's gone. It's a Mac.
She won't even restart.
It's an 820-3209. It probably has a dead PCH already. Rip. Rip.
Of all the times to have this happen, she has to do it right on screen.
Have you seen the Palm phone? A genuinely small Android phone. Yeah, it's a joke. When I said that I wanted a phone that fit in my hand instead of a 6-inch or 7-inch phone, I didn't mean that I wanted some minuscule, ridiculous rubbish. I just wanted something like the phones they made back in 2012, 13, or 14. You have to admit AirDrop is cool. I don't know what AirDrop is. Is that a punk band? The ECU had a burned out PTC. It was a simple swap out. Yes, I farm in central Canada. That's fucking awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you for taking the stuff I put up here and actually applying it in a way that made a difference to somebody's life, even if it's just your own. That's awesome. That's what I do this stuff for. That's what makes it worthwhile. More money for a laptop fund. I'm better now, by the way. Thank you. Thank you for contributing towards Erica's new ThinkPad.
Oh, man.
Be appreciative, Erica. That person just put $2 towards your ThinkPad.
Nah, I'm not even focused on... Oh, my goodness. Well, seems like she's kicking the bucket. Seems like maybe a ThinkPad is in my future. Thank you, Snake. I can't read that.
I'm sorry, Erica. We don't fix random crashing at Rossmann Repair Group. We only fix random crashing on the A1398, early 2013, late the 2010 15-inch.
So guess what?
Here's a donation for Paul Daniels to fix Clio. $2 is not going to get that thing sent to Australia. I hope the mailman loses that thing if it gets sent to Australia.
Look, I'm trying to press a number.
Get that off my camera. I don't want a MacBook on my channel.
Working. I can't press my numbers.
Give me a Penelope screwdriver. Where's the Penelope?
Huh?
I'll open it.
Oh, really?
Let me just make sure to pet the cat. Just rub my clothes and my arm on this couch. Here, come on. I'll fix your computer right now.
Hey,
I'll open it.
I don't think you're ESD safe, though.
Oreo's an ESD safe kitty.
Oh, man. Poor Cleo.
We need to fund Erica to get her a mic. When she gets rid of the MacBook, we'll get her a microphone.
We could just share it.
What's an underserved niche and component level board repair like you do? Not sure. If I knew the underserved niches, I'd be serving them. That's the hardest part of the business. It's not doing the work, it's finding the niche. All right, Erica gets a mic now as well.
Yay!
Let me just put the mic in Omni instead of cardioid so that we can hear Erica. And
look.
My mic stand is going down on me.
Oh.
Damn. Why is my mic stand going down on me?
Why is it sinking? Come on now.
I bought the cheapest shit mic. I think this thing was $100.
It was working before. You know, I would go closer except Mr. Oriole sitting right here. And I don't want to move him. He's so cute.
He's not doing anything, Erica.
What?
Come on.
He's meditating.
Piece of shit, cheap ass mic stand.
Okay, look, this is the meditative cat right here. Look at him.
Erica.
Look at that.
Come here where people can hear you, Erica.
Okay.
All right. This mic is kind of in the way now, but this is it's sitting in where it should, so.
Huh?
When is Paul's first house call Tesla repair?
Okay, move here, little one.
In his nightmares.
I know.
He just, oh my God, you're so mean to that little cat. Mailman left their door open
Oreo.
today.
I gotta move the camera.
Huh?
Oh,
And dropped 3 packages in front of me. I feel a morality to have these delivered, but feel bad for the rest he may have dropped on his route. Yeah, that sucks.
okay.
Thoughts on Edward Snowden? One thing that was really interesting in 2013 or 2014 when that happened that I found was that if all the... There seemed to be a direct... Oh my God. You can't answer... Erica, stop distracting me with... I'm trying to answer questions. You're just sitting here laughing like you're doing DMT.
No.
Stop doing DMT before we stream. Anyway. Now I lost my thought.
I forgot Snowden, I think.
Oh, yeah, Snowden. Is when it happened, there was a 50-50 dividing line. People who were like over 45 and under 45. Everybody I knew at the time who was over 45 thought he was a traitor, hang him by the nuts. Everybody I knew that was under 40 thought he was a hero, praise him, and I hope there's more people like him. And it just seemed really interesting where that dividing line was. It wasn't partisan. It seemed to be purely based on age. It seems like the last generation, dare I say it, had a lot more trust in government than this one does.
Hold on. Oriole's hungry. I gotta go food. Hi, baby.
You could set a mic on a boom so it's above your heads. That's too much work. Fuck that. I like having this one so that when I do normal videos that you have better sound. Because a mic that's pointing from you above your head is never going to sound as good as a cardioid in front of you. But technically it would be better for a dual setup. But it's just then I'd have to have a switching thing for dual setup and that's just too much work. I gave Erica a mic and she ran away, so I'm taking the mic back now. I take it back for myself now. Anyway, I steal my microphone back. Alright. Why are you feeding somebody that hasn't done any work all day?
He's the emotional support cat.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. It's like fall.
The mic stand is made by Apple. Yeah. It's cheap. It's like $100. It's no Latch Lake, that's for sure. This is not a Latch Lake mic stand. Is it okay to ask if you've tried DMT? Absolutely, you can ask. I have not tried DMT.
Okay, almost done. Ario, go eat. This one.
How much can you deadlift? The most I've tried so far was 365 on normal bar, 415 on trap bar. I just got up close to where my max was before I tore my quad. I'm happy with that. I'm no power lifter, but I'm just happy to not be disabled after. I'm not. It was depressing after I hurt my leg to try and squat the 30 or 40 pound curling bar and have tears coming down my face because of how painful it was and not be able to deadlift anything. Ow.
He didn't want to eat. He was waiting for the food while I put the food down and he doesn't. So what's that?
All right, put the volume up since it's further away. And can you tell us stories about bad web developers you mentioned in a recent video? There's a video entitled "We Don't Win Anymore. I Sued Andrew Dembski." That would be it. Just search Rossmann Group Andrew Dembski on YouTube. Give it a try. Legally, it is life-changing. I don't know. You ever take Erica to the gym to show off to her? I don't think I'd be able to get Erica to go to a gym.
What?
I've tried. I think I could tell Erica I will get you the new 16-inch MacBook with the highest specs, and Erica still wouldn't come to the gym with me.
Oh, I would go to the gym with you. No questions asked.
That's
What?
BlackBerry over my shoulder, not the demonetization kitty. I broke my neck squatting over the summer. It sucked. Ow.
Look at that itchy kitty in front of us. What you doing?
Budget iron and heat gun. A used quick 861, because there'll surely be some on the used market by now. It's old enough. Iron. TS 100. All right. It's time for me to go to bed.
Someone said, "Don't be camera shy." Oh no! Did you run out of disk space?
Yes, I sure did.
How did you run out of disk space? I thought
Did you say disk space?
disk space.
I was recording the stream and I wasn't paying attention. I'm a Swedish model. Wow.
Wait, where?
Railway builder. Oh.
Ah.
And like both your videos, Jess's and Eli's, they give insight into technology that I can use. Thank you and Happy New Year. Thank you, and my apologies for being disappointed once I found out that you were not actually a Swedish model. What's wrong with me liking a Swedish model? We don't even have the whole entirety of your face. You're cut off like
What?
right here.
What?
There's no more Erica after right here.
Yeah, I was
Erica
a bit of
has
that
no-
only because I want to move.
You have
it
no
over here.
cheek. You
Huh?
have no ear.
I have no ear. I have
Yeah,
an
you're all
ear
cut
right
off.
here. Huh? Let's see.
So now it's a MacBook fund. Nope, it's a ThinkPad fund. It's a ThinkPad fund. Where did you guys meet?
Ah, my numbers still aren't working.
I would be interested in more videos from Paul if possible. Don't you hate how Streamlabs uses PayPal? I sure do.
Streamlabs at least gives you options.
Yeah.
That's what it
I
comes
want
down to.
When we move, Paul will be able to do videos more. But even then, it's too congested to have him or Steve do stuff. X1 Yoga Fund. Indeed. Will Oreo be #1 employee at the new store? Absolutely.
I always thought your ultrasonic cleaner would probably be #1 employee.
The ultrasonic fixes way more than I do, that's for sure.
Oreo, where did you go?
Where is that Oreo?
He's right there. He's right in front of us on the ground.
Is he crouching?
Yeah, he is.
Why is he always crouching?
He's trying to. He's in predator.
I get to say my
sense.
decorations most days. It sucks. Like the money, but sleep, I miss it. Yeah, I have that even if I go to sleep. It doesn't make a difference. I've taken a 3-week vacation and had 12 hours of sleep every day, and I still came back with this.
Do you know what makes his eye bags worse though? When he rubs them like this.
Yeah, but you have to.
No, you don't have to.
Yes, you
You're
do.
breaking like the little blood vessels over
But what do
here.
you do when you need to touch them or they itch?
You just tap it very lightly, or
Doesn't
you don't,
work.
or you use eye drops.
That doesn't
Do you
work.
ever see me rubbing my eyes?
How did you and Erica meet?
Met at an Apple store.
Don't make me. Bang Zoom right in there.
What?
I did not meet Erica inside of an Apple store. Give Erica the MacBook you reviewed. That does not belong to me.
What MacBook you reviewed?
The 16-inch one.
You reviewed a MacBook?
I did.
Oh. Oh. Does it need a home?
No, it has a home.
Oh. Oh. Well, you
How
know.
do you feel about non-board repairs for the iPhone MacBook going into 2020? I think that the difficult, much less profitable. You used to be able to get a screen to, like, you could get an LP133WX1 TLA1 for $58. Then it became you can get a MacBook Air screen for $120 to $130 for the first year or two, and then it came down to $78. Then it got to you can buy a A1502 screen for $90, and then it went all the way up to $250. Then $300. And it's like it's getting more and more expensive. There's less and less profit margin in anything that is not board repair because of the process you have to go through to
Yeah.
get them.
Someone said that when you rub your eyes, you're breaking the blood vessels and you're bruising your eyes. And you know what? I agree. That probably is it because I notice when you rub, you don't just go like this. It actually goes deep in, and it's like he's trying to gouge his eyes. It's kind of like
It's aggravating.
when
There's an
the
itch.
mountain
It
you know
needs-
did with Ober and Martell. You know when he was going like this, but it's just rubbing.
It needs massaging. It needs.
I mean, I see how deep his fingers go into his eye bags, and it's
How deep?
huh. That's why I whack your hand or I tell you to stop it, and you're like, yeah, okay, Erica, like that. You drank Ovaltine and you're gone. You know what? Wait, Ovaltine is milk, right? I think Ovaltine is milk. No, Ovaltine is some sort of thing that you add to your milk, I believe. Would you be open to drinking Ovaltine?
No.
No.
Maybe.
Maybe.
No.
I will find Ovaltine.
Maybe. No. Okay. Time to go. I'm tired. See y'all later. Thanks for showing up for the stream. We'll do another one later.
See ya.
Wave, Erica.
What?
Wave.
I am waving. How come you're not waving? Do you wave? Oh, what's that little wimpy wave?
And thank you to Scott Mosley. I appreciate it for the greenies. Panther.network. I don't know what that is, but... What's the future of video repair shops then? Not as profitable? Everyday repair shops are going to have to learn how to do the hard stuff, or there's not going to be a reason for them to exist. I got to stop answering questions and go to sleep. See you later.